everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Making sure y'all can hear me before I start rattling on. We have a really full chat room. That's really cool. We have like some crazy cool stuff here to talk about tonight. Oh my gosh. So you guys might notice I don't have my normal background. Cow is not behind me. I am actually in Seattle on location. I came up here for a special project. Many of you know Janelle Elms with OSI Rockstars, of which I belong, and I had helped her a couple months ago through wonderful technology shop at an estate sale that just had the most amazing stuff, including an entire collection of American Brilliant glass, which many of you hear me talk about all the time. And so through the wonderful world of iPads and text messages and smartphones, I was able to help her buy this glass, which she knew nothing about. I mean, she said I could say that. She actually said I could call her a dummy. I'll never get permission for that again. So helped her buy all this glass, and then she decided that it would be easier to get me up here to get it all listed for her than to try to do it herself, which is still what we've done. And wow, can't wait to share that with you later in the show, and some crazy numbers. So welcome everyone. We've got like a really full chat room. This is so fun to see. Awesome. You guys having a good St. Patrick's Day so far? Everybody wearing green? Or do we have to do some virtual pinches? Nobody's going to confess that they're not wearing green, are they? Ah, the corned beef and cabbage is going. Oh, see, look, we do have some people admitting it. Yeah, I got married on St. Patrick's Day long time ago, in my first marriage. So never really celebrated St. Patrick's Day since. So anyone new to the show, we record all the shows, and they can be found several places afterwards, either directly here on Spreecast right after the show, or you can go over to my YouTube channel where we put them up. Usually it's up by Monday night or Tuesday morning. I put lots of different kinds of videos over there, so not just the show, but I put tips of the week and any other kind of things going on, check-ins, auction roundups, all kinds of crazy stuff I put over there on YouTube. So you can subscribe to that channel, and every time I put something up, you'll be told. Also, I put these over on my actual website on Tuesdays. This is the day that we put those up on the home page if you missed it. So lots of places to catch up on the shows if you missed one. So thank you for following that. You guys can also write in for topic suggestions, things you'd like to see, things you'd like to ask me. You do that right from askthedanniapp.com, where there is a little form there you can fill out. Happy to include those into the show. You just send me what you want to see or hear about. Pretty open show. I want to take a minute to thank one of our sponsors, bubblefast.com. And yes, thank you guys. I ordered my tape. It's on its way. So anybody who wasn't here last week, I said, remind me to buy tape, and boy, did I get the messages to buy tape. So I got it done. It's on its way. Actually, it might already be there waiting for me. I haven't been home for a few days. But Bubble Fast, awesome. You guys use the code Danni, D-A-N-N-I, get an extra discount. Be sure you have an actual account there, because then you can accumulate those bubble bucks and get even more. In fact, that's what's crazy. When I ordered the tape, I got my 5% discount for my Danni code, and then I had a whole bunch of bubble bucks saved up, so I got like $16 off of my order. Voila. Crazy. Bucks. Bubble bucks. Steven. Whatever works. All right. You guys are funny. All right. Who is ready for a score of the week? throwing a little drum roll there. All right, as usual, some crazy good ones. And we're only touching on just a few fun ones. You guys be sure and check out that thread over on the Facebook group because that goes, and people keep adding to that until tomorrow morning. So those are really great things to be on the lookout for. It gives you an idea of what they're selling for. I got to tell you that I was looking at patterns. Yes, I went shopping. You guys probably seen it on Facebook. I did go shopping while I was here. So I was looking at patterns. I didn't find any of those good ones. So boy, I'd sure love to because I hear that she had a second one go for that over $200 mark. Love that. So let's jump in. We have an Irish score. We're going to start with our Irish score. This is from Sandra. Sandra bought a Guinness hat for a whole $1. And she sold it for, hang on, let's give you the item number first, 3106 1345 3649. She sold this for $49.99 on her $1 purchase. So don't ignore those hats. Don't ignore those hats. That probably cost all of about $3 to ship. So can definitely do that. Free shipping. Actually, it looks like she did it priority, so, you know, $5, ship a hat. Nice, nice, nice. Kay got a cruise jacket at Goodwill for $7.35, and that's item number 4003 842 83277. Did I say that right? 4003-8428-3277. Felt like I lost a number in there somewhere. All right, take a look at that. This was a St. John's Collection cruise wear jacket, size 10, warm white. So this just goes to show, don't ignore jackets right now because obviously people are still buying jackets. She got $100 on best offer for that. She had it listed for $179, took a $100 best offer, and she paid $7 for it. So that's yeah, I would take that. I would take that offer. So I know for a fact that anything that kind of looks like military and has that styling to it is really hot right now. So be watching for that. Nice job, Kay. So here was our quickest sale and highest profit margin. This came from Sarah, and let's see. Oh my goodness, cross stitch kit. She bought it at a church rummage sale for, get this, 50 cents. And that's, you could probably find these needlecraft kits like 25 cents, 50 cents all day long. She sold this within 15 minutes for her asking price of $100. And Sarah, you are with us tonight. So what was your feeling when it sold so fast? Gotta ask. Gotta ask. Happy or feeling like, uh-oh, did I list that too cheap? So this was a Dimensions Gold kit. Yeah, so apparently that's a hot name. I give you the item number. Let's see, it's 3210-9135-2191. And I want you guys to take a look at the subject matter of this kit. You guys see what that is? Santa Claus. Now it's a really cool Santa Claus. It's like an old-fashioned Santa Claus, which I have found out is very much loved. Christmas! If you get a great Christmas item, list it. Don't hold off. There's people buying Christmas stuff all year long. If people collect, people collect. And such as a needlecraft kit, you know, somebody probably wants to make that in time for next Christmas, so they need lots of time to do it. Yeah. So she sold it within 15 minutes for $100. Now, Sarah, did you do any kind of research when you're setting your price, or how did you come to the $100 on that? So you researched, okay. And is that about what they were going for, or was that on the high side, low side? How'd you set your price? You went higher. Awesome. Very, very good. Can't beat that then. Nice job. So Sherry always has really good scores, week after week. Sherry definitely knows her stuff, and she ventured into glass. Yay! This was a crystal vase planner that was at an estate sale for $4. And item number 1408 5466 3612. Check that out. She got $60 for that. Let's go take a minute and look at that. Now, how many of you would have priced that at 60 bucks? I know, huh? It is cute. So, you going to be buying more glass now, Sherry? Oh, you had it at $78.25 and it sold for $60. Best offer? Nice, nice. Well, we're going to hopefully show you some great stuff tonight that will help you on your way to that. Very good. You know, it truly is amazing. The thing about glass is if somebody wants a piece that you have listed, it's not as much about the price as other type items. I mean, it's really, they want to figure out how to get it, and if you've got a higher price on it, they're thinking they're getting this high quality piece. They don't want cheap glass. They want good glass. Telling ya. Nice size. I bet, yeah, that was probably easier to ship than most pieces of glass. Just because it was not too big. It's a good start. Good start. Take a little moment here. Thank Outright.com for sponsoring the Danni app. And I've got tons of writing I've been doing for Outright, their blog. So in case you didn't know, they have a blog. I write articles over there that you don't see anywhere else. So you got to go over to the Outright.com blog. And April, if you just throw a little slash onto that, that would be awesome. There we go. That's the one. And trying to remember what I wrote about last week. I have to catch up on my sleep, guys. That's a good article, though. I promise you. Anyway, Outright.com, tax season. I think so many of you understand the value of Outright and how easy it is, and it's free. Can't be free. Now, if you want them to do your schedule C and all that stuff, there is the upgraded version, which is like right now they have a special for $50 for the entire year. Try to hire an accountant for that. Not going to happen. So, thank you, Outright. Okay, who wants to know what I've been up to up here in Washington? Anybody? Or should we just end the show now? So I thought, you know, I'm going to get here and I'm just going to be working, getting all this stuff listed. But no. I was forced to go shopping. I want you to know. Like, I'm getting yelled at. So, yeah, we did a little shopping. We went to Goodwill first. Yes, my arm was totally twisted. Totally. Crazy. So, thinking now, I packed light and I only brought one suitcase. So I'm like trying to be like really careful. And she's like, well, I can loan you a suitcase. Well, that's all I need to hear. I think there's a picture floating out in Facebook somewhere of my not sourcing. Yeah. Sadly, not everything is making it home either. There's some stuff that's got to stay here till my next trip up because I totally have to come back up here again. It's amazing up here. So we went to Goodwill and shopped there, and then we went to the dollar store, and then I did get some work done, and then we went, we found an amazing little, well, it wasn't little, it was a big antique mall that we didn't even get the whole thing covered. It was so cool. And yes, I bought some stuff there. And so did Janelle. And in fact, one of the pieces brought home and it matched something else I was listening to, so got that one done too. And oh, it's just been wild. And then I got to go to my first Value Village, which really is funny because it's really just Savers with a different name on it. And as you guys probably saw me post that, yes, you can use the Savers stamp cards at Value Village and vice versa. So they work everywhere. So yes, I'm going home with some stuff, and I am just crossing my fingers that the TSA people at the airport do not want to open the suitcase because it is so strategically packed that I am not sure they can get it closed again. But you guys will get to see that stuff on next week's show. So lots of goodies to share. Oh, and Mom, there's some stuff coming your way. You guys know I always find stuff to send to my mom so she can fill in her niche market down there in Tucson. So yeah, I'll show you all that next week. So let's get on to this like cool stuff because I want to make sure we have plenty of time for me to show you all this great stuff. So so I just have to, I promised that I would give Godzilla his little moment in the spotlight. So he had to have his 30 seconds of fame. So everyone say hi to Godzilla. All right. I had to do that. Oh, one of the things that I did get at the antique store, at the antique mall, that I actually have out here to show you guys because I'm actually using them. Tell me what you guys think. Are they me? It's my new readers, my 1950s reading glasses. They're so cool. Can you guys see? Like, they're the cat glasses, real rhinestones. I know. Aren't they cool? Yeah. Got me some sparklies. Now I'm torn, though, because I actually looked them up, and they sell for crazy high prices. So I don't know. I'll wear them for a while, and then maybe have to sell them. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, where to begin? Where to begin? So I'm going to show you some of the non-American Brilliant stuff first, because we have a whole bunch of American Brilliant here. So let me show you some of these other really sweet pieces. Oh, and just so you know, we figured we were doing the math. Actually, I was letting Janelle do the math because you guys know I don't do math. She spent at this estate sale, all told, she went back a few different times, but she spent about $3,000. So how many of you are gasping at that? $3,000. Yeah. But we added up the numbers. So I have so far listed, I think we got to about 34 or 35 pieces of what she bought there. And the total amount listed is nearly $15,000 worth. And some of those are auctions that are going to start and could potentially go higher. And we haven't listed everything yet. So there's probably another $2,000 to $4,000 worth still to go. So would any of you like to make those kind of profit margins? Let's see. Is there anybody who wouldn't like to make those kind of profit margins? In fact, if you wouldn't like to make those kind of profit margins, you probably should just sign off now. Okay, so let me show you some of these pieces because this is the kind of stuff that pretty much you get to dictate what it sells for because you have no competition. I mean, yes, there's other similar pieces and things out there, but these are truly rare items. Like, you could actually say rare in the listing, even though we won't do that because nobody really searches by that word, but these are rare pieces. So I got to have fun. And I've been having a blast doing the research and finding out things that even I didn't know from before because I've never listed one of these. So anybody know what this is? I'm not going to open it yet. Let's see if you can guess by just looking at it. Anybody know? It's not a music box. Okay, I'll open it and show you and see if anybody knows what it is. Yes, it's an inkwell. So they made these figural inkwells, and they sell for crazy high prices. And of course, there's so many numbers going through my head right now, but it's hundreds. Everything is hundreds or thousands. Nothing cheap. It is marked on the bottom, although I have not been able to figure out the mark. Although I've kind of like tried to come up with a couple different things. But the cool thing is, it doesn't matter really what it says because the keywords are there. Does it have the inserts? No, it does not. And these don't pull out. These are just solid in here. Like some of the other ones have the little screen on one side, so I'm not exactly sure what else went in there. But it's in perfect condition. I mean, it is it's late 1800s. I believe it's pre-1900, based on the other ones that I found. Now, Coalport, you think maybe, Beth? Yeah, I'll have to send Beth the close-up. Beth knows her antiques too. Yeah, Beth, I'm gonna be bugging you on some of these marks that I can't read. I do believe it's German or Italian, somewhere in there. A lot of this stuff was made in Austria, Germany. About the same time, they had what's called fairing boxes. Anybody ever heard of that? A fairing box? Which is basically a fancy word for a Victorian trinket box. And that's what I thought this was at first. That's how I kind of like came to it. So there's something called a fairing box, and they're actually a little smaller than this. They're more the size of a trinket box. Those were given out at the local fairs that they had. Kind of like today they have the cheap stuffed animals. Well, that was their idea of prizes, is people came home with these cute little porcelain trinket box that were usually, little figures. So that was where I started with the research on this, because it took me a minute to figure out it was an inkwell. But it was really fun. It was really fun reading about all the history of these kind of pieces. And to them, this was like what, dollar store stuff is to us today. These were just kind of, everybody took them for granted, and now, like, treasure them. They're worth hundreds of dollars. So always be looking for those unusual, even if it's, if it's missing the inserts, it's no biggie. It's still going to sell crazy high, because in my research, there wasn't another one exactly like it. I still got to track down that mark, figure it out. Could be even better than I thought. Okay, so then we have this sweet, sweet, sweet little piece. I love this. Let's see. Mirrors are hard. So you guys, can you see that okay? So basically inside here, this opens up and it holds a little compact. And then you've got your two little perfume bottles. Yeah, I'm not swinging it around. And what's interesting is it's brass, which is unusual. Most of these are silver plate from this period. It's very Art Nouveau, and the Art Nouveau period is late 1800s to early 1900s, and it's known by its flowery and very ornate, before they got into more of the harder lines of the Art Deco period. I don't know if you guys can see this. Up here is two birds and their nests. See, here's my webcam. Yeah, just sweet piece, very sweet piece. And again, I couldn't find another one like it. Not even close. Not even close. So when you get a piece like that, you get to set the prices crazy high. I mean, worst case scenario, it doesn't sell at the crazy high price, but somebody comes along and offers you a really, really good price, and then you still do really good. Oh, you think it looks like it was for a child? It is really dainty like that. Yeah, I guess that's possible. I mean, it's just a sweet piece. Really, really love it. So we got lots of some RS Prussia, some Limoges. So Limoges is another really interesting whole subject we could talk about. There were tons of Limoges companies out there. all from France, of course, because Limoges, France. So something you want to look for. Most of the stuff you'll find will have some sort of a flower pattern. And so roses, very popular, any kind of floral. So when you're looking at the Limoges, Bavarian, and Austrian, German, all of those makers from that period, which could be any one of several of them, but you want to look for things that are different, that are not the flowers and the common things, but look for people, portrait paintings, and I didn't bring any of the plates in here. I should have brought the plate in here. But for instance, check this out. Can you guys see that? Can you see the colors on that? It's corn, and it's actually, its purpose originally was as a wine jug or a wine decanter. And it's still got its original cork. It's in just beautiful condition. This particular estate just kept everything impeccable. And it is marked on the bottom with the Limoges mark. And this is actually the artist who painted the actual corn on this. This is a piece that we are pricing, I believe we priced this one at $2,000. And it should sell fairly close to that. It's so highly, highly unusual. The RS Prussia, there's a tea set, and it has the actual red and green stamp, which was only used between 1905 and 1910. So that's the easiest one to date of the RS Prussia stamps. This was all purchased, in quantity, so as far as individually, like I said, all told, $3,000 spent, and there's actually one or two pieces that are worth that alone. So, in fact, I'm gonna show you one in just a moment. This is one of my favorites. What's that background noise? And it's not the hedgehog. All right. What do you guys think of this one? Oh, you think the jug is 1894 to 1900? Yeah, I had it pre-1900 by the mark. Yeah, is this not crazy beautiful? Now, the bowl, which has these, focus, okay, I'm moving too fast for my camera, has the little feet. This is marked, again, with a Limoges mark. This one is the AK company, France. Oh, but it doesn't end with the bowl. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 8. There's 8 of these to go with it. Complete, perfect, not a chip on them. Focus. It's all seashells. It's 1 Corinthians 13:13, but it's not, none of these pieces are actually active yet. It'll be going up this week. I have to take all the pictures home and get them all put to the listings and get them launched. But this is just, again, it's not flowers, it's not anything usual. There's actually a few different designs that they did, which was for serving seafood. Imagine that. So it's a fish service set, and this one happens to be seashells. And again, I could not find this set anywhere. I found some similar pieces. I think I found a couple of platters. You see the shells are on the outside as well as on the inside. Just amazing workmanship and quality. It's one of those things, you guys, like if you see a piece like this, you're not going to be in doubt that this is quality. This is good stuff. There's no question when you look at how this is made and the feel of it, the look of it. It's just, you can pick this stuff up, and if you can get a good price, you're going to make money. I'm moving slow, so bear with me, guys, because I do not want to break anything. That would be bad. All right. Let's see if I can get the gnomes over here. Ugh. So we got any beer stein fans out there? This is not a beer stein, but it goes with that whole family of things. This is actually by the original company to make the tankards and beer steins, of which, you think I wrote down the name? I don't remember the name. It's a German name, and it starts with an M. What is it? Oh, that's right. Oh. I have a cheat sheet inside here. Hang on. Wait. Let's see. What is it? Oh, wait. It's really little print, you guys. Bear with me. Metlock. That's it. That's it. Metlock. Isn't it nice when somebody takes a little clipping out of a magazine or a value guide and they store it with their collectible? Gotta love that. Now, I have to tell you, funny, when I was like researching and looking this up, I didn't know that was in there. So I did everything and found it and spent all this time. Yeah, it was bad. So the detail on this is really crazy. Look at the little thumb piece, and this is the thumb piece for the lid. Can you guys see the gnome? And this is pewter, and it's really, really common for these pewter lids to have some sort of damage because pewter is a really soft material. So don't be terribly deterred by damage on pieces that are this old. Again, this is late 1800s. So you'll see on this piece, hopefully I'll be able to show you, on the spout, I don't know if you guys can see, this has had a professional repair done to it at some point in its life. Okay, I think this is 3.2 liters is the official size. Now this also has a repair. Where is it? I just saw it. Here it is. Right here. Can you guys see that? So this had a big chip or a crack or something, and to stabilize it, they had this filled in. Now normally with a professional repair, they'll actually match the paint and they'll blend it in so that you don't see that. And the screen just blanked out on me for a minute. The computer went to sleep. And then there's some repair and stabilization on the bottom. Still, a really rare piece will still sell. I believe we priced this one around, I want to say, $1,500 to $2,000 based on results. And I found out something interesting, that this particular way they did the painting on this, there's an acronym that is PUG that's put into the titles, and I kept looking at it and going, what is PUG? Anybody want to take a guess what that stands for? P-U-G. And it has to do with the art on these. Print under glaze. That's it. Print under glaze. And this is the company that came up with that method. Put on green. Yeah. Good guess, Lynn. All right. So here, you guys might have seen my post over on Facebook about this was my mystery piece of glass. I don't get stumped by too many pieces of glass, but this one was stumping me. I had some ideas. I thought it was Webb. Now, Webb is a company that does a very similar design and color, but I found out something really cool today, how to tell the difference between what this turns out to be and Webb. So anybody want to take a guess who the maker of this is? And if, do I have any of my, this is better than Fenton, way better than Fenton. This company puts Fenton to shame. Think bigger. Where's my glass people? They would be in the same realm as Tiffany. Yep. But it's not Tiffany. Not baccarat. Not stupid. Good guesses, though, you guys. Good guesses. So it's a French company. Think French. I'm putting you guys through your paces. It is Loetz, which is spelled L-O-E-T-Z. Loetz. Now, Loetz and Webb, also known as Mount Washington a little later, they were in competition, I found out. So that is why they use similar techniques, similar patterns. I also found out some interesting information about the Webb family, and you know, glass to them was like the thing. Glass was where you came up with new ideas and new ways and all this stuff, and that was the technology because everybody used glass. The tables were set with glass. Everything was glass because it was a readily made material back then. So I started reading about William Webb and John Webb and the family, and these guys were like the Steve Jobs, you know, with technology in today's age. That's what they were to glass. They were always coming up with some new crazy way to do things and outdoing the next thing, and it was really fun. They were the entrepreneurs. You mean Loetz? Don't they normally sign their items? Not always. No. So much glass is not signed. So much glass is not signed. Now, this probably, most likely, 99% sure, sat inside of a probably either sterling silver or silver plate basket or holder. So this is a bride's basket. That's why the bottom side fairly plain, because I'm almost positive this set into something. So I don't know if you guys can truly see the amazingness of this piece, but there's like a, and this isn't truly milk glass per se. It's a lot more, you can see through it. It's more of like an opaline glass. But then there's a clear Vaseline glass edge with ridges in it. And remember, this is all hand blown. This is none of this is like machine made. And then another ridge of the opaline glass put on, just incredible detail. And then it's got the enameling all done inside. And I was just thrilled to death. One of my glass guru people actually had a conversation because I could not find anything on this to save my life. And he came back and told me how to tell the difference between it being Loetz and Webb. And it has to do with the pontil right here, that the web will be completely smooth. They make theirs very, very smooth. Loetz, it feels like sandpaper, like a really fine grade sandpaper. And as soon as he told me that, I'm like, oh, yay! And it came from somebody who writes the books on glass. So thrilled to death. I believe we've got this one priced at $5,000. So right there, this one paid for everything and some. I may have to put it on layaway though. All right. So that's my excitement. You don't get your hands on that kind of glass every day, let me tell you. Now, she's laughing at me in my giddiness about some of this glass. Yeah, there is a piece of that glass, that technique, that's in a museum in Austria, and I'm supposed to be getting some pictures to confirm that and show, you know, just having all as many details as you can. When you have pieces that are priced up in those thousands, any kind of provenance, which is the history that validates the piece, anything you can add to your listing, do it, because then you are just far more credible when it comes to pricing, and somebody's more likely to pay. You know what? She's laughing at me how I'm bouncing this piece of glass around. She doesn't even want it on her shelf. Yeah, You know, the way I think this stuff has lasted about, 120, 130 years thus far. It's not as fragile as you guys think. Now you don't want to bang it around, but oh, Beth is sending you a collectorsinsurance.com website. Good to know. Thank you, Beth. All right, so who wants an American Brilliant glass lesson here? Because boy, do I have some pieces to show you. So there's a lot of fairly common pieces out there, and they sell, all over the board, hundreds. So the key to this stuff, let me tell you, is the actual design. So you got to remember this stuff, and there's little numbers on all this. This is our little numbering system. So you see little green numbers. That's just so we keep track of which piece is which. So American Brilliant, for those that don't know, is cut glass that was made in what is known as the American Brilliant period, which was about 1876. There's kind of like some arguments when it actually started, to right before or right when World War I was starting. And the reason it ended then is because the ingredients that were used in the glass to bring out the colors and the clarity and all of that were needed for the war. So that's when the period ended. And it had a lot to do with the makers of this glass originally were copying imported European designs that was really, really expensive. And only the wealthiest of people could afford the fine cut glass. So they were making this glass for the middle class families to be able to afford to have these beautiful pieces on their tables. So that is why a lot of it is not marked, because they didn't want people to be able to tell whether it was the American glass or the European glass, because American glass wasn't cool. When I say cut glass, is it crystal? No, it's really not. I mean, that's a tough one, because we know it's crystal as a more contemporary glass. Crystal, you think of fine, and it does have a ring to it, like, I can't do it because I'm holding it, but it's really not known as crystal, put it that way. That's a good question, though. It's a good question. I'll have to come up with a better definition of how to distinguish that. It's more just a principle. I mean, technically, yes, it's crystal, but nobody knows it as crystal, because you think of contemporary glass when you think of crystal. So some of the makers were kind of, trying to outdo one another with the intricate designs and the patterns and things that they can do, because all of this is hand done. There's no machines. These were done on little diamond grinding wheel kind of things, and every single cut, every single little tiny miter and teeny tiny, I mean, can you see how tiny some of those are? It's all hand done, one cut at a time. So they started taking some of this to exhibitions, some of the fairs, and there was a big exposition in Europe where the American makers took some of their patterns and they won awards. And when that happened, bam, that is when the period is known to have started, and now all of a sudden this was the glass to have, and it was sought after, and that's when they started putting their marks on it. So there were several companies that came along, and I mean, there's more than we can go into in the 15 minutes we have left. So it's huge history, and yes, I will be writing the book soon, because it's just a fascinating story about how this glass works. So anyway, so the more intricate the pattern, guys, the better. And let me give you some really cool examples. So there is every shape imaginable, so don't just be thinking bowl when you hear about this glass. Also, I think I've kind of said this a lot, but just in case anybody hasn't heard me before, you will know this glass because, number one, it is so sharp, it literally feels like you're going to cut your hand. In fact, I was actually getting a little weary of handling it, Janelle was telling me, and I'm like, nah, I never get tired of handling this guys, but it's really true. You handle it, it really is so rough that it really starts being uncomfortable. If you have to ask if it's American Brilliant, knowing that, it's probably not. You will know it. You will absolutely 100% know it when you put it in your hand when you think sharp, sharp, sharp. The earlier pieces are the sharpest, and then they did get a little bit duller as you got into the early 1900s as they kind of changed techniques a little bit, but it's all really, really sharp. No, you don't have to wear coal miner's gloves to handle it. She says, yes, you do. So it's also very, very thick, and I'm going to show you just on one of the bigger pieces where it's a little easier to see. Oh, I'm going to show you my favorite piece first. So Janelle thought it would be really funny if I came up with a sound effect of broken glass as I'm like reaching and putting one of these over. Would you guys have just died? Okay, so this, by the way, you guys, Post-it note tape. How many of you guys, do you guys know about this stuff? I didn't know about this stuff. Is that crazy? Post-it note tape. This is the best stuff. It comes in a little tape dispenser. Like, break it off, write on it, stick it to your pieces. I am so in love with this now. Okay, had to do that. All right, check this out. So one of the things that you will look for in the more expensive pieces are curves. And I don't mean like the pinwheel. Actually, the pinwheel, if you look closely, those are all straight cuts. There's no actual curve to the cuts themselves. The curves I'm talking about are those things that look like drapes, where they actually had to make a curved cut, because that was the absolute most difficult to do. Difficult. This center of here is actually known as a pinwheel, and on the inside, there's so many. There's actually what's called a Brunswick star, and within the Brunswick star is a Hobbs star. I mean, there's so many elements to this thing. And the more of those elements, again, they were all trying to outdo themselves with their fancy cuts. I don't know if you can see, this is the outside edge here. And these are all little individual line cuts in here. Just a crazy, crazy piece. And yeah, you can hear it ping. It's got a lot of lead in it. It's very heavy glass. This piece right here is about 5 pounds. And let's see if you can see the thickness. I actually measured, and they're pretty consistently about a 1/2 inch thick. Because you got to remember, they had to cut into this glass. Just insane. Why did I ping the glass? Just for fun. But really good glass with a lot of lead quantity in it is going to ring like that. That's why crystal rings too, because it's got lead in it. So this is really cool piece. No, and none of these were marked. As much as I tried to find a mark. Let me find another one here. Okay, here's another piece that you can see. Oh, I better remember to put the right numbers back into the right bowl, huh? That would be bad. Okay, so here's another piece. You see the design? See how there's 4 of those Brunswick stars, and then you've got the lines that cross. Now, there are pattern names to a lot of these. You will go cross-eyed trying to hunt down the pattern names, so I've learned not to really try too hard at that anymore. If they come easy, great. There are some really distinct patterns that are out there that a lot of people, well, collectors, know about. So those you can find pretty readily, but for the most part, there's so many tiny differences between the makers. You'll make yourself crazy trying to figure out the pattern, and it's not really necessary. So just kind of knowing your shapes and some of the motifs, people will find the pieces, and that's how I'll be listing these. But just if it's not your normal, just kind of fans and Hobbs stars and, you know, simple designs. There's just lots of intricate combinations in there. How did she bring this home? Very carefully. I think she said she drove about 5 miles an hour while she was bringing this stuff home. All right, here's another one to show you another variation of patterns. So you can see all the different little elements in there. These are going to be going up in the store, 1 Corinthians 13:13. I'll be posting about it on Facebook. No worries, you guys will be able to track these down. I promise. Promise. I'll be bragging about some of these pieces, especially you'll get a better chance to go over and look at some of the pictures in more detail instead of just on my little webcam here. Okay, so here is what they started doing in the period right before the American Brilliant period ended. They started getting a little fancier with their cuts, and they started using things like flowers. And there was a company, McKee, was really well known for using their little flower cuts. Now, McKee actually carried this into the 1920s as well, so you see a lot of their stuff out there. It's kind of borderline that you can call it American Brilliant. A lot of people do. Technically, it's not. So, just wanted to show you that. And it's not quite as sharp. Still sharp, still definitely cut, but it's not quite as sharp as some of the earlier pieces. But again, it's still 1/2 inch thick and really, really clear glass. Okay, so I said don't just look for bowls. There's different shapes. So these are actually, you would think they're vases, but these are decanters. This is how they're known. They were used for wine and liqueurs and all kinds of fancy things. And again, you can see I can't hold both at one time, they're so heavy. You can see all the different little elements to the design. There's these big kind of, this one, I wish I could show this on camera, but do you see, I guess you can. So this is like a indented little thumbprint thing here, and see how it goes sort of like 3D on you? Like they had to really just think, hey, how cool would it be if we reflected the pattern from the other side of the piece on that? That's a cool piece. Okay, and here's another one, so you can see same general elements to it, but they put them in different orders and different things. This one has what's called notching all up and down the neck of the piece. They've got cuts, you know, always on the bottom too. Every little bit of it. Here's another. Now, Janelle, knowing absolutely nothing about American Brilliant glass, decides she really, really likes this piece here and brings this one home. And this turns out to be one of the better pieces. When you get pieces like this, the reason that these are so valuable is anything that is more likely to get broken along the way is going to be more rare. And this is one with these big, long stems here and had a tendency to get broken. So this is a really, really good piece with a really funny, and it is called a comport. Some people call them compote, compote. But yeah. So they also, now this is funny because she told me as she's getting all this glass and she'd hung up with me, he had like this whole box of little pieces, and by little pieces I mean things like little bowls. I don't know, trying to get that to focus for you guys. Little bowls and plates and, you know, just little miscellaneous pieces, some creamer and sugars, that kind of thing. So, and there must be about 10 of these, both single and double-handled, and this is known as a nappy. That's the terminology that collectors use for these little pieces. Okay, so about 10 of these, and these. $100 for the whole box. And I think there must be oh gosh, close to 20 pieces, you know, that I've counted of all these littles. So in there was this set of tumblers, which were actually used for whiskey tumblers. And no, unfortunately, well, actually there's one piece that's signed, which I'm going to show you. I don't think we have that piece in here. There was one piece that was signed, one piece out of all of it. But it doesn't, that's the thing, it doesn't have to be signed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This stuff just sells off the pictures. So these tumblers right here, you know, these kind of like the estate sale, these were throwaways basically. These right here, $200 just for the tumblers, because there's not a lot of tumblers out there. These were functional pieces that were used all the time and were likely to get chipped or broken, or, you know, so there's not a lot of them out there. So the more rare the pieces, the higher you can ask, even for a little tumbler like that. The nappies will all sell in the range of $40 to $80, depending on the design and the size and all of that. And a nappy is just it's a little dish. Just a little dish. Can have a handle or not. Sometimes has two handles, but that's just the way these are known. No, the tumblers do not match the decanters, unfortunately. How cool would that be, though, huh? And no, there's actually, and I didn't bring it in here, there's an actual decanter that's square with a stopper as well, so you can look for those. So the first piece that caught my eye when Janelle was showing this table full of, her computer keeps going to sleep and blacking out on me. Like, oh, where'd I go? All right. Let's see if I can show this to you guys. I may have to move the camera instead of the piece. It's two pieces, okay? And it is a punch bowl. Let me show you. Ta-da-da. So it's a punch bowl. Sits on a little foot. Okay. And to most people, you wouldn't even know this is a punch bowl because it's kind of small in size. Well, actually, what they used these for, I found out, was ambrosia. So it's actually an ambrosia bowl, but most collectors call it a punch bowl. So let me pick it up, show you. And I don't know if you guys can see just the absolute clarity and just almost an iridescence to this glass. It's just so amazing. So amazing. There's these great little diamond patterns at the top with little notches. And then, of course, here's what the foot looks like at the base. So this piece right here is about, oh, I think we listed this one around 2,000. I'm trying to remember all these numbers, you guys. Too many numbers. You know what those do to my brain. So the last piece I want to show you, and we're going to go a little bit over tonight. Sorry, guys. As long as I don't miss my plane. Okay, real quick. So this was the only piece I was able to identify the maker and the pattern. Now, if this piece were perfect, this is made by a company called Fry Glass, and the pattern is called Trojan. And the really sad thing is if this piece was perfect, it would be about $1,000 piece, okay? So Janelle wasn't sure she should bring this one home. Because, and I don't know, it's really hard to see. It's a really, really major, major damage that runs all the way through. I mean, it's cracked from side to side, and it's been glued. The tip has been broken off, but somebody smoothed it out, sanded it down. So I said, yes, that piece is rare enough and spectacular enough. Somebody is still going to buy it. $1,000 perfect. I believe this is still going to bring, I predict $200 to $300 based on its rarity. Cracked and glued and everything. You know she paid for it? Anybody want to take a guess? No guesses? A little more than that. 30 bucks. Totally worth it. How many of you would have passed this one right by because it was broken? Exactly. Yep. So, don't always think that damage is going to make it so something doesn't sell. A lot of times, those damaged pieces, and we're going to do this as we get this all listed, most of it fixed price, and then we're going to run some things on auction, including a piece like this, that this one is also damaged, but this one we can start at $9.95, which what that's going to do, draw all those American Brilliant people in to the store. They may not buy this piece because it's broken, but then all of a sudden, boom, they see all the other glass, and now we've got our eyes and our traffic, and this is called your loss leader. So there you go, guys. So I must tell you, we did this all virtually. I was in Vegas, Janelle's in Washington, did this all just through pictures and computer, and she learned very, very well, because when we went to the antique store, I was quizzing her. She had her final exam, and she passed with flying colors. She can now buy glass. Quite well, I might add. So I will definitely be posting when these go up, so you guys can go check out and you can read about each one of these pieces, you know, so that when you're out there and you see this stuff, this is what you guys want to be selling. Because how many of you make $2,000 on one sale? I should say, how many of you want to make $2,000 on one sale? Exactly. How many of you make $2,000 a month right now selling? Wouldn't you like to, like, in one sale, make what you're used to making, like, in a month or 2 months? Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Totally doable, you guys. Totally doable. We'll get you there. And you have to work hard for it. Exactly. Exactly. Sure, it's good. This is, I mean, there's a hassle factor in shipping this stuff. Sure, there's a risk. But the reward, and she's laughing, the reward is so great. It's so fun. Yeah, like our $5,000 piece. Oh no, maybe we'll list it at $10,000 just for fun, just for giggles. Oh, you guys, I've got to make sure we mention our stamps.com. They help with the show as well. Definitely give them a check out. I want April to put the phone number up there if anybody has any problems. They're really good at solving those. I know there was a little bit of an issue with the free version. They kind of bumped people onto the paid version. They'll fix that right away for you. So there we go. I was going to say, did we lose April? There she is. So stamps.com. They also have a blog, you guys, where they put up lots of great information and charts and things that will help you with your shipping needs. Love them. Okay, guys, I'll be in Tucson next week. Computers willing, we will do the show again on location. I will be taking some group sourcing on Friday and Sunday, so we should have some good stories to tell out of those trips. I still have a couple spaces available if anybody's going to be in Tucson, wants to sign up, head over to my website, and there is, let's see, did I give you that link, April? There's a special page you can go put in if you want to sign up to go on one of those sourcing trips with me. Hopefully. All right, we'll put it over in the Facebook group too. So, yep. I'm leaving, getting on an airplane, going home, and going back to my boring stuff now. That's the bad thing about this. Now I've just got to go list stuff. So, thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for staying after late, and we will talk with you soon.